On August 1st this year, we, the descendants of African slaves, celebrate 190 years of emancipation. Today, we live a life that our forefathers could only have dreamed of. It was these visions of independence, self-reliance, and self-determination which fueled rebellions across the Caribbean. They wanted a better life for themselves, their children, and their children's children. This fighting spirit was passed on to us and has manifested itself in sports, academics, music, fashion, dance, spoken word, and visual art. Such creative avenues were often denied to our ancestors, but today we revel in the freedom that enables us to express ourselves so freely, gracefully, and eloquently. Hello, I am Shana Michelle, and on behalf of the Antigua Barbuda Reparations Support Commission, I welcome you to UHURU, Spiritually Awakened. Our theme this year is Remember to Empower. We begin at the Wallings Reservoir and Forest area. Built over 130 years ago to serve neighboring villages, the reservoir is now a haven for wildlife and nature lovers. Our program today will take you on a journey to the motherland as one Antiguan family traces its ancestral roots. We will also be treating you to spoken word performances, dance, and music from our talented local artists. Antigua and Barbuda is not only blessed with 365 beaches, lovely weather, and delicious food. This slice of paradise is teeming with talent in so many art forms. We start off with a poem from humanitarian, activist, radio personality, and baker, Kadeem Joseph.
My voice. They say, a short memory is a privilege of the oppressor, and the oppressed remains restless in recollection. You see, I forgot my voice, and the space it makes in a room. I almost forgot how it commands attention and betrays the things I try to hide. I know that black boys haven't been learning how to swim. I know that we sink. Maybe, just maybe, it's because the sand reminds us of the ghastly look on death's face and the crack of the whip. Maybe we are not in a rush to meet our ancestors. Resting beachside, Mom says, boy, be careful of the waters you choose to swim in. Don't you know that blood be in these waters, boy? Don't you know that the spirits still sleep in the roar of the waves? How they try to break my chains at the shore and pull me back to meet my maker. Pull me back to home. She says, can't you see Africa is still searching for her lost children? Sitting here, I can almost see them, dotting the horizon, ships with our ancestors, sandwiched together. No wonder we are not rushing to wade in these waters. I forgot my voice and how it rings and echoes across the skies. In Negro spirituals and psalms and hymns and songs of toil, there is soul in these chants and sorrow in these cries that resonate through space and time, and I wonder under the dark of my own hope, will I ever be truly heard? You see, will these hands with memories of calluses and blood be remembered as more than tools, but for their greatness? How they toiled beyond Fort Shirley and at Nelson and James with sweat and blood. Through these horrors we came for Prince Class and the spirit of rebellion. In forgetting these sweet sorrows, I wasn't here to remember them. I want to scream freedom. I want to scream freedom from Buggy Peak to Devil's Bridge. And then I remember, wait, I forgot my voice.
It's no secret that Josiah's African Heritage Store is the best place for authentic African clothing from all over the continent. Today, we speak to the proprietor, Mr. Alistair Spencer, who, along with his aunt, Miss Arlene Edwards, have traced their ancestral roots all the way back to the motherland. We will speak on their quest for ancestral knowledge, their relative who moved to Liberia, and ultimately, the inspiration for Josiah's. Tell us, how did you manage to trace your ancestral roots back to the motherland?
Okay, Well, probably there's several sides to this. So from one side, my mother's side, my grandmother's side, my mom's mom, that was done really from my cousin Ronald. He took the DNA test. We share the same grandparents, so whatever is his is mine.
It's yours as well, right.
So he did it on behalf of the family.
Right.
And our ancestry traced back to Cameroon, I think the Fulani people in Cameroon, and also another tribe in Equatorial Guinea.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And then on my grandfather's side, that was traced via documentation. I'll let my aunt tell you about that.
Okay, well, Auntie, come tell us.
The limited knowledge that I have at this point in time, because that was really done by my brother and some of my cousins in Liberia, we learned that our ancestor was from the Congo.
Oh.
Amilcar was his name.
That's your common ancestor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was traced by, I suppose, going back to the archives records.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, right back.
But you told me that you have an uncle who moved to Liberia. What precipitated that? How did he get to move to Liberia and settle down all the way from Antigua?
Well, yes. My uncle, Solomon Theodore Reuben Edwards, was born in Green Hill, Liberta, in 1891. And being my grandfather's first child, he got all of the love and everything showered on him. And so he was encouraged to move away to study, to become a doctor. So he took the Carolina, a ship, from Antigua to Puerto Rico and then to New York. And so he got to New York in 1917. My father was born in 1916. So
my great-grandfather was born in 1917.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So he got to New York and he enrolled in Meharry College of Medicine in Nashville, Tennessee. So he studied medicine there. He specialized in gynecology and obstetrics. He met his wife, who was from British Guyana, in New York when he went to when he got there, and they studied pretty much together, and got married. Of course, they had their first 3 children were born in the U.S. Hugh Byrne, Doris, and Dolly.
Okay.
He became a part of the Back to Africa movement that was led by Marcus Garvey back then. And mainly because of the discrimination that was meted out to him at the time, because in Nashville, the discrimination was
deep south. Yes. We have heard the stories, yes.
Right. So having studied and having been a part of that movement, he felt more and more that he needed to go to Africa.
Right.
The Republic of Liberia was founded by the colored people in America.
Yes, they returned from the U.S. to Liberia to found. Because if you notice, the flag is quite similar to the U.S. flag.
Yes, one star with the stripes.
With the stripes.
And so my uncle Solomon and his wife went back with their 3 children.
Okay.
When they got there, they had 2 other daughters. But one died as a toddler, Dorothy and Dolores. And they made a life there. Mm-hmm. He was like the surgeon that everybody looked to go to because he was well respected and somebody who knew what he was about. So he had patients like the presidents, other politicians, other doctors, that sort of thing. And having built a life there, he would have engaged his grandchildren, letting them know about where he came from in Antigua. However, I never met him. Those of us here, we would not have met him because, as I said, my father was born in 1916, and he was born in 1917. and he never came back. However, he kept in contact. My Uncle Maitland Edwards, he was in touch with Uncle Matey all the time, and through Uncle Matey, Daddy as well. My father is Albert Edwards.
Right.
And they're all from Liberta.
All from Liberta.
Yes. Daddy and Uncle Matey were not the same mother as he was. We don't know who his mother was because he was raised by his grandmother, our grandfather's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she took him in. My grandfather had several children.
That was common back in the day.
Yes. He had several children, but the siblings, my father and my uncle Maitland, knew of 6 brothers.
Okay.
Never knew of any sisters. And Solomon was the first. Daddy and Uncle Matey were the last 2, as far as they know.
Right.
Right? They had 3 other brothers who would have, because of the struggles that they would have endured, would have moved away, stowed away, I understand. And one would have ended up in Guyana, one was in Trinidad, subsequently Tobago, and another one in Dominica. So Daddy used to say to us, don't get involved with anybody from
you have family all
Dominica,
over
Guyana,
the place.
or
That is
Trinidad.
crazy. Yes. But back to Uncle Solomon. You said that he kept in touch, although he never came back to Antigua. He still kept in touch with his relatives here.
Yes.
But how did you? Because if I'm not mistaken, you would have gone back to Liberia. Some of your family members would have gone to Liberia and have met your relatives over there. Have you?
Daddy.
Tell me about that.
So in 1978, Uncle Maitland died. And so the communication was now with Albert, my father. And realizing that they were the only 2 left, Uncle Matey having gone, they decided that because by then my Uncle Solomon had died. He died in 1958.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? So his children now wanted to come to Antigua to meet the family before Daddy would have passed, probably, because they needed to have that connection. And so in 1979, the son, Hubert Edwards, and the last daughter, Dolores, made the trip to Antigua, met with the Uncle Albert and Uncle Maitland's family.
Okay.
And they shared, they moved around and tried as much as possible to learn as much as they can about what they called their motherland.
Right.
Because this is where their uncle is from.
That is
Yes.
very, it's quite ironic. We refer to Africa as a motherland,
Yes.
and they look at Antigua as their motherland.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that is beautiful that you were able to establish and maintain that connection.
Right.
Yes. So tell us, Alistair, I'm very interested to find out how you came about getting involved in African fashion, apart from the obvious link with your relatives over in Liberia. Because I'm thinking there's something there.
Okay. Well, first of all, I mean, since I was a little boy in Liberta, going to Liberta school, I was always intrigued. Whenever I, was taught about Africa and realizing that we really originated in Africa as black people. So that it was like sometimes I would be in class, I would sit and just imagine myself being there.
Wow.
It was just something that really, it must be my DNA or something. And growing up, I always heard that my grandfather had a brother in Africa, and I remember when he went and he came back with his dashiki. It was a big thing in the village, And so later on, like my aunt said, we have been in touch with the relatives from Liberia, the grandchildren of my uncle who went there. And every year we have an Edwards family reunion. We've had some of them now live in the States, so we've had several in the States. We've had a few in Antigua, because of course they would want to come and see where their grandfather is from and so on. And the Liberians, they have an Edwards family reunion every year as well. And I remember on one of those reunions, one of my cousins from Liberia gave me a dashiki as a gift. And I mean, I really, really enjoyed that dashiki. And, I took great pride in it. And, I just, somehow that gave me the idea.
I feel that became your most prized possession, right?
I think that was the spark, I just developed a love for African fashion, and I decided that, you know, I was going to share it.
Right.
You know, and as, you know, my way of introducing my people here to African fashion, and also just facilitating and encouraging trade with Africa.
Right.
Because I try as much as possible to get my items from Africa.
That
I could get much cheaper knockups from China and India.
No,
but I still
it's not the same.
Yeah, it's in my heart to do business
Yes.
with Africa. You know, it presents lots of challenges, but it's just something that I enjoy doing. And I also enjoy meeting, you know, the relatives from Liberia. We interact all the time. They've come here. You know, we go around together. I've taken them to see where their grandfather lived. And, you know, that, you know, those events are really, really emotional. And so, you know,
It would be.
it just kind of fuels my passion just to stay close to my ancestry, my heritage. And it's like it elevates my pride when it comes to, you know, Africa.
This design is Cameroonian. So tell us about this.
Yeah, well, this is a traditional Cameroon design. It's called atogu. As you see, it's a kind of velvet fabric mainly, with, you know, lots of
Lots of embroidery.
embroidery. So, and it's been adopted almost by the country, although this is from northern Cameroon. It's been adopted by the country. So, whenever the Cameroon team is at, let's say, Olympics, they, you know, you'd see them all dressed in a Togo outfit.
This could be something I could wear to my wedding when I eventually get married.
It's from Nigeria,
Right.
You know, and again, there are different grades. This again was specially made for Josiah's by one of my suppliers there.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it's also available. This is the actual kente cloth.
You can feel it.
Yeah, and when we order something like this, we have to actually get the thread first and take it to the weaver to weave it in whatever patterns we select, and then the tailor would produce it. So it's a very complicated process.
Sounds
and very
expensive too.
timely. Yes, but
But this, oh,
but of course, like I said, I think everybody should have something really unique from the
Yes,
motherland in
yes.
their it, and you just cannot get any better than this. This is kente from Ghana. This is a mud blouse dress, and this is actually mud in a sense, and these designs are hand painted. You could actually go on YouTube and see the guy sitting down and painting
them on.
you know, painting these designs.
you can feel. I can actually feel. Is it clear? I can feel. This is heavy.
Yeah, but they're,
And
you know,
it's
they're
smooth,
traditional
nice and
designs.
stiff.
This is mainly in Mali, but you could also get it in, you know, some of the neighboring countries like Burkina Faso.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
But
nice.
When we hear about mudcloth, it's traditionally between Mali and Burkina Faso.
Nice.
This is what we call an Ethiopian coffee dress. It's made from Ethiopian cotton, and of course it would also have, very often it's made from the colors of the Ethiopian flag, but there are different variations. And this is usually worn in the home, usually during coffee ceremony. You know, coffee is a big thing in Ethiopia.
Yes.
Ethiopia
Yes.
is the
Isn't that
universal home
the
of coffee.
birthplace of coffee?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is what the ladies would wear during the, you know, those ceremonies, and even, you know,
Got
sometimes
pants
on
on
the
there,
weekend.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay. This one caught my eye immediately because the dark, is it black background, and then you have these love. Now, are these handmade or hand sewn?
Yes, the
Because
designs,
you can
yes.
you can see
Yes.
the designs are they're not
The designs are hand woven. Like I said, I order these directly from the persons who make them. So I would tell them what I want, and they say, give me this amount of time to
right.
make it.
What do we have for men?
Okay, let me cover men and boys at the same time.
Right.
You see this? This is for a child version, but you have them for men and women as well. This is what we call a fugu. This is a traditional from northern Ghana, although it's been adopted, you know, throughout Ghana as a traditional design. Again, it's made from hand-woven fabric, you know, strips and so on, and they're woven together. We have Ethiopian outfits for the kids as well. So this is one here. Just showing you what we have for the tat. So we don't. What we want to do is for you to get them into Africa
Yes.
while they're still young.
But they do have an appreciation
Yes.
for it. They feel so nice and special when they have on their African garb for for Black History Month and so on.
Yes.
So this would be a traditional, or this is more of a contemporary version of a traditional outfit?
Those geometric designs are traditionally South African.
Okay.
A lot of the South African traditions are, you see these geometric kind of designs in them.
Right, okay.
Yes. Traditions of South Africa.
Now, full disclosure, in case you guys didn't know, my outfit is sponsored by Josiah's African Heritage Store. Okay.
We also carry gilly. These are outer gilly. You can't really see because it's
Right.
wrapped. You know, just done like this for shipping. But my auntie is wearing a beautiful gilly. So you can get these there. And to make it easy, we buy them already wrapped. So you just have to attach them at the back because you know most persons
it's
here would
quite
not know.
intricate. It's a lot of work to get them just the perfect way that they need to be.
So we call them auto gilly. They're already
moving
wrapped.
with the times.
Most of the modern men, when they're looking for African, you know, even though they're not up to the Agbada as yet, they want something that's African, looks classy,
right,
and still fairly simple. So we have designs like these. These were made in Nigeria. We have a set of these different patterns, especially for Josiah's. If you notice, we have the Josiah's logo on them, but they were made in Nigeria.
Okay.
So a lot of the evangelists and so on who now want to get into wearing African and get away from the jacket
this is what they would go for.
Like, things like this.
Okay.
And like this. So you know you can see that you're wearing African without, you know, not everybody likes a color like the dashiki. We have the shikis here, different colors. Let me just pull one. You know, this is the famous dashiki. When you hear about dashiki,
this is what we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah,
yes.
and this is worn all throughout Africa, and like I said, it's also worn in the diaspora. Originally, it was a symbol of heritage appreciation, showing pride in your African roots and stuff, and also rebellion is part of the Black Power movement in terms of the attire in the 1960s. And this has come to really symbolize African heritage. So you find most times when there's an African function, most persons will be wearing the dashiki. Because when you see this, it shows Africa, and it's also probably the least expensive of African attire. But it's, you know, it's very beautiful, and this set came from Ghana. You can get them in Nigeria, you know, South Africa. Right. This was specially done in Ghana for me by one of my designers. It was just a special design that he made. He said, you know, somebody can wear it to a wedding or something. Still yet has not been used yet, but you know, so we use it just to almost as a promotion piece.
That's a beautiful piece.
And as you can see, we also have
we have the hats. We have some hats.
These hats here, traditional hats. These are Hausa hats. Because they all tribal.
Hausa, that's Nigeria, right?
Yeah, these are made in Nigeria, and these are also, you know, the traditional hats. We also have sandals, you know, made in Africa, primarily in Ghana and Nigeria. You see these hats here? I mean, I've seen maybe one or two persons in Antigua with these.
Do you know who always wears something like this? The reggae singer Luciano.
Yeah.
He always wears one of these hats.
And one or two guys have these. I think Icop from Bonnet, that's one. This is a Fulani tribal hat.
Okay.
This is a Fulani tribal hat from the Fulani tribe. These are some nice traditional bags. These are made in South Africa. Very beautiful small handbags. So you know, if you want to have a nice African piece. We also have a variety of hats. African. This is a mud cloth from Mali. This is a Rasta hat from Ethiopia. We have backpacks and so on. This is a Kente backpack. And on the table here, we have a variety of oils and soaps, etc. So we carry, I mean, when people hear about Africa, they think of shea butter and shea. So we have some of these. We carry black soap as well, but I don't have any on display here. But we have, and I mean, raw, pure black soap. But
shea
here,
butter is the only thing I use on my skin, to be honest.
So we have shea butter, and the shea butter is already whipped, so it's soft and nice. It's not like It's not like the yellow greasy stuff that you get from Amazon. This is the real stuff. And we have chebe for hair. Normally when persons here in Africa, this grows your hair really, really well.
I've heard of chebe.
So
it's used by a tribe. The ladies have some really, really long hair.
Yeah, but it's been adapted through, universally. So
nice.
This is chebe. This is like oil for face and hair. It's a carrot and papaya seed. And we also have chebe oil. Chebe oil again, chebe especially for hair growth. And we carry toothpaste, we're out now, but we have charcoal, we also carry neem. And we have one of the best sellers, which is Impeso, which is what we call the manpower special.
So that's an African product as well?
Oh yes, made in Africa.
Oh.
And let me tell you even more. The company that manufactures these is setting up a branch in Antigua, so they're shipping the raw materials
to Antigua.
All the barks and the roots and leaves to Antigua.
Wow.
So these will be produced in Antigua to be distributed throughout the Caribbean and also to the USA. So we have even turmeric soap, black soap, like I said, shea butter, shea bay, butter for the hair, the oils for the hair and skin, and the Impeso for the men. This is the big seller.
Okay. Thank you so much for allowing us to come here and spend some time with you and Auntie. I have just one question to ask you, and I think you might have answered this a little bit earlier, but I might need you to expand on it a little bit more, because I want us to know, I would like to call you a visionary for African fashion in Antigua, but how do you see it expanding further within our population and also within the Caribbean as well?
Well, yeah, I think that is one of my ambitions. The store was launched in 2016.
Right.
And again, the idea was to bring African fashion to the population. Of course, we seem to be immersed in European and American. And seeing that I'm a very African-centric person, I just thought, this is my way of contributing to that movement. And it is a process because it's not easy to change the culture of the people, but slowly but surely I can see it's filtering down.
Nice.
Persons are now willing to express pride in the African wear. People get excited when it's African dress day and so on.
Yes.
And with that would come the natural desire to learn more about Africa, because people now realizing that, hey, this is where we are from, so not everyone may accept it. Some people tell you, well, me from Antigua, maybe I'm not to do with Africa, but that's the reality. Is all of us as black people, trace right back to Africa,
Yes.
So I think with the emergence of social media, and now people are seeing more of African movies,
African music. Yes.
My wife, she can watch the African worship thing, all day. We're seeing what is the real Africa as opposed to maybe what we may have been taught growing up.
Yes.
People are just beginning to embrace the African heritage, and I believe it's the same, throughout the Caribbean. But like I said, I'm just trying to do my
Your little part.
Yes, and hopefully somebody will catch on to it from me, and then it'll become an explosion. So now, in terms of the store, it's small, but the idea is, and the hope is that eventually, it will become the place where anyone who wants to get real, authentic, traditional African attire, you can find what
I will disagree with you on one thing. You said eventually it will become, but it already is. It already is the center for everything authentically African when it comes to fashion. So Alistair and Auntie, thank you so much for allowing us to come here and share your space, and so you can show us around.
Yes.
Really appreciate it. I will look forward to seeing you at Watchnight.
Yes, certainly.
All right. Thank you so much.
I've been there in a few occasions, and I'll be there this year.
All right. Awesome. You too, Auntie.
I'll try.
He will take it. Thank you so much.
Sure.
A piece evoking memories of the past and promises of the future. Here is Unchained, a dance choreographed and performed by Star Samuel, accompanied by Shyle Myers on drums, with a poem written and narrated by Marlene Askey.
Unchained. History stolen from birth, born in shackles of the mind, in a society with limited resources, raised with the knowledge of a European king, not knowing my ancestral rights, being the child of an African king and queen. A deep hunger burns from within. Call it an intuition, a knowing, a feeling that just won't go away. Never satisfied with what is to the human race. To know where you're going, you must know your past. History untold must be unfold. Shackles undone. The naked truth. I am a soul. I am a woman. I am the child of an African king and queen. Running from the past of a slave mentality into the future, bright as can be. Talented, productive, intelligent me. My past goes way beyond slavery. I am the child of a king and queen. I am an African queen. From a continent with minerals and wealth, divided by a culture vast beyond compare. Language a barrier from north to south. But this child of a king and queen knows her past, running towards the future, embracing life.
A powerhouse of prose is how many would describe Marcella MJ the Poet Jardine. Her creative, passionate, eloquently written and thought-provoking pieces have delighted many across the Caribbean and Antigua in particular. Here is MJ the Poet with her piece entitled Protect Your Queen.
Protect Your Queen by MJ the Poet. Queen, black queen, royalty. Never-ending loyalty is what you deserve. And even though we may damage you, even though we slowly deny you, power to you. Power to all that you are and all that you are meant to be. Power to the power that speaks within you. And as you struggle to shine, may your king take his time to love you. May your king protect you as you've protected our kings. Queen, make no excuses for your skin that radiates strength. Make no excuses for your skin that oozes milk and honey and coconut oil. Make no excuses for your kinks, the kinks and the coils in your hair. King, hold your queen high. And when she is down, uplift her. Raise her up so the world can see her beauty, her regal royal beauty. Mama Oshun, black queen, you are one with the sun, you are one with the moon, you are one with the stars, and the Milky Way defines you. Protect your queen, king. Value her integrity. Her fire burns deep, so deep that those who do not understand it will try to tame it. But this black queen is not to be tamed. No, she is not. Protect your queen, king. In all of situations, in all of life, protect your queen, king, because for you, she is life. She is light. The black woman is not to be tamed. She is to only be understood. So black king, protect your queen. Love her as she is, and she will be fruitful and multiply what you have. So black king, protect your queen, king. And whatever she gives you, you will deserve it. Whatever she provides you with, she will multiply it. Whatever she supplies you with, she got it from somewhere. So refill her cup, king. Protect your queen, king. Protect your queen.
This bright-eyed and cheerful son of the soil is blessed with a golden voice that has enabled him to tour the world with major musical acts such as Luciano and the Reggae Powerhouse Band. Be it reggae or soca, his music is guaranteed to not only entertain but also educate. Here is Bless I.
Mix Master Child.
Repatriation. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I bless I again. Repatriation. We have to trade Africa and come out of Babylon. Tell it to my brethren from your walk on African. Stretch forth on a hand, take on a rightful position. Hey. Repatriation. Not a real like the biggie and Pado. I won't get a touch to the popo of room. Come make we come off our back away a rolling stone. Them a repartition. Well, one divide and a pre-audition. Don't do it already and a repeat it and Babylon, you know better than the kitchen. I saw Mussolini tan like a fascist tan when I want to take it on. Come and a pre-demand. Never know me ready for we fi clot it on. I repatriation call is official. So you don't wanna stand in my way. I go into Zion for real. Repatriation. We have to trade Africa and come out of Babylon. Tell it to my brethren from your pan African. Stretch forth to the hand, take on a rightful position. Hey. Repatriation. Not a real like a biggie Alpha Joe. I won't get a touch to the popo of room. Come make we come off our back away a rolling stone. This is how we want to give. Walk the streets of our village. Take the children out of the orphanage. There's a place for one and all to live. Metamorphosis. Men who fought for this and women who never abortionist. With a brave heart, youth is unfortunate. Me had the heart forget, not hard forget. I am to Zion and not forget. Can we believe in living life after this? And if you're looking for love and happiness, Rastafari reign in the heart of flesh. You know if you back up and leave, you not forget. Them are gonna feel winded and short of breath. Have to fight like Marcus and Malcolm X. Mission I forget we out from out the west, cause you know the left. Repatriation. We have to trade Africa and come out of Babylon. Take it to me brethren from your pan African. Stretch foot on a hand, take on a rightful position. We want repatriation. Not a real like a biggie and fat Joe. Can't get attached to the pope of Rome. Come make we come off our back and we a rolling stone. Repatriation. Rastafi don't come out of Babylon. Repatriation. Well read, blessed. I bless I again.
Fayola Aisha is her stage name, and she is one of the most sought-after spoken word artists on the island. Her words are bold, brave, lively, and intricate. Her message empowering and entertaining. Here is Fayola Aisha.
Do you feel the freedom in the breeze, in the shuffling of leaves? Freedom come, freedom don't go, freedom stay. You are welcome. Sit at the table I've made for you. It's black and it's beautiful. Laid out on the cracks of our ancestors' backs. Let's have a meal with all the fixings. Fix things, repair the Africans broken, stolen bodies, stolen languages, stolen. Really, it's only a token of what we deserve, preserved through the ins and outs, ups and downs, sideways and back and forth. Our history is exhausting. Faces in the dirt, Homo sapiens, not savages. You're part of the problem if you don't understand it. Men, women, and children of this earth, skin the color of earth, soil from where life grows. We are the beginning of birth, and it hurts that there are still many who don't see us as human, constantly struggling for recognition. Kings and queens wearing frowns instead of crowns, so unnatural, anti-factual, distractions from our regality. This is our reality, not to be taken casually, flamboyantly caustic to our collective psyche. So fix it, repair it. We beg not asking for handouts, not asking for another man's lot. Justice demands payment in full of what was stolen, fees incurred for what was broken. This is part and parcel of emancipation, financial freedom. Let go of the skirt hem of our nations. It's not all fun and games in the sun, sea, and sand. The apology and the money, they go hand in hand. Every generation, grand after grand after grand after grand. Pay the trillions, debts ignored. Take time to recall the blood that was poured. Soak up the rays, play in the waves. Wiggle your toes in the grains, but heed the freedom in the breeze. Mind the shuffling of the leaves. Freedom come, freedom don't go, freedom stay. You're welcome.
As we celebrate the 190th anniversary of emancipation from slavery, let us not forget to pass on the knowledge that we have acquired. After all, it was that knowledge passed on by our ancestors which inspired the rhythm in our calypsos, steel pan, bender music, our swaying hips, and indomitable spirit. Come out and join the Antigua and Barbuda Reparation Support Commission on Wednesday, July 31st at the Botanical Gardens for our annual Watchnight celebrations, starting from 7:30 p.m. Remember to empower. I am Shana Michelle. Thank you for joining us.